Just a moment. Okay, well, let's do some sound check really quick while we're stuck in Q Fantasy. Okay, there we go. Let me do something real quick. There you go. Hello, I'm back. Let's do some aggressive expansion. Heading to Turncliffe? Yes, please. Hey there, Gaius.
I was not expecting you, Pieter. Are you perchance aware of the ongoing situation?
Actually, I come bearing a delivery from Tatarataro's boutique.
Samples of military equipment. Well, you have my thanks, but there's a more urgent matter that needs my attention. I received a report from the G-Savior Mark II has been stolen from the hangar here in Turncliffe. In fact, I'm here to speak with an eyewitness. If you're willing, I would like you to join me. Your insight may prove useful.
So this tile reminds me of Final Fantasy VIII.
The place where you led an assault at the beginning of the game.
Oh, at the TV station?
I guess, I don't know. I don't remember the TV station at all. I just remember the assault at the beginning of the game with really awesome music.
Thank you for coming on such short notice, and with Pieter, no less. As luck would have it, he decided to pay us a visit on other business. Owing to our present crisis, however, I had him accompany us here. Tell me, is it true that the Mark II was stolen? I'm afraid so. While I was performing a maintenance on the Mark I, I caught sight of a man approaching the Mark II and looking very suspicious.
Or a culprit, in other words.
I remember it like it was yesterday, but it was this morning. I called out to him, demanding he state his business here. But when he turned around, my heart nearly jumped out of my chest. The man who stared back at me was Valens Bonvaro. I'm sure of it.
Impossible. He breathed his last before my very eyes. Unless the dead walk amongst us. That simply cannot be.
I only know what I saw. Though he wore a visor, the likeness was unmistakable. Even his magenta armor was identical.
Pray forgive the interruption. I bring urgent news. These former captives of the 7th Legion insist they speak with you.
Please forgive us, Father. Father, he...
Calm yourself, lad. You're safe now, I promise. Now tell us, what happened?
Yeah, go ahead. Father, Valens came back and told us to show him where the raw marketer were. We only know how to get in here, but we sometimes come to peek at the big machines.
And after telling Valens how to sneak inside, he made off with the G-Savior Mark II. Given what you boys have been through, I know how difficult it must have been to confess what just happened. Your bravery is commendable. Now, you'd best return to the orphanage. Fear not. We'll deal with this so-called Valens. Though I highly doubt he's returned from the dead. If that war machina was fallen into the wrong hands, the consequences could be catastrophic. We must give chase, and quickly. Will you lend us your aid?
Oh yeah, you can count on me.
You have my gratitude. We will set out to reclaim the G-Savior Mark II as soon as you are ready. Pray, inform the Ironworks staff when you have seen to your preparations.
All right. Man, this is very, very easy to slip through grate. I mean, it's much bigger than our feet. Could you hand me my phone? Somebody messaged me. Thank you, dear. I'm in here. If you're to stand a chance against the G-Savior Mark II, you'll need to fight fire with fire. Luckily for you, we've already fooled the Mark I. It's ready to dispatch at your command. Yeah, let's do the G-Savior. I'm excited about that, let me tell you.
The G-Savior Mark I's automated piloting systems currently have us cruising toward Garlemald. If the Perpetuator truly is Valen's, I'm all but certain he is making another attempt to seize the Imperial throne. After all, that is precisely what he hoped to achieve with the diamond weapon after the death of Emperor Varus. But he did not succeed then, nor will he succeed now. I want you to pilot the G-Warrior to make sure of it. While I am entirely capable of taking the helm myself, I must concede that your skill outshines my own. Instead, I will provide support from the rear cockpit inside the containment apparatus. Valens may have a head start, but I'm confident we will overtake him once we have the engines at maximum output. Then the rest is up to you, Pieter. On entering the cockpit, several cutscenes will play in sequence. It's recommended you set aside sufficient time to view these scenes in their entirety. Yeah, let's do it. Heat signature detected 3,000 yalms to the fore. The readings are unmistakable. They can only be the Mark II. Ideally, we would shoot him down before he could even detect us, but doing so would destroy the vessel and him with it, making it impossible to identify this culprit. Our only choice is to draw near and neutralize the vessel's propulsion systems, even if it means alerting him to our presence. I beg to differ. Someone has wormed their way into our frequency, but this voice... Oh no, it couldn't be. Oh, but it is. My, how long it has been, Lord Balesar. As I suspected, Nero Toll Scava. So the rumors were true. You survived the battle at Castra Miriatum and now work as an engineer under Cid. Work under him? Oh, clearly you're misinformed. I'm merely using my unequaled talents to save the poor fool from his own ineptitude. And now I'm here to do the same for you. Do enlighten us as to how. 'Tis simple, really. I've crafted an armament that will immobilize Garland's wretchedly designed vessel, and I'll even give it the appropriate name. I call it the Anti-G. Expecting this day would inevitably come, I took the liberty of loading it into Mark I's weapons bay in advance. You're welcome, by the way. Now, adventurer, listen and listen well. What I'm about to tell you will be the key to sinking this scarlet vessel. And while I find the idea of destruction unbearable, 'tis nonetheless the perfect opportunity to show who is the superior engineer, Garland or myself. Oh, do put on a good show, would you? If I must.
Yet another part of the game I didn't enjoy. The following sequence, you will pilot the G-Warrior. Time your inputs with the on-screen prompts. Oh, this I might like this. Looks okay. I can handle rhythm games. Those are actually kind of fun. With a blue prompt, time your input with the diamonds overlapped. With a yellow prompt, make several rapid inputs till the prompt disappears. Controls are as follows. All buttons and directional buttons except for options. So basically everything.
I suck at rhythm games.
Yeah, see, I'm down for rhythm games. The other mech game was ugh. When I activate the homing interface, you'll need to lock onto the vessel immediately and fire a barrage of anti-G missiles. When I activate the homing interface, you'll need to lock onto the vessel immediately and fire a barrage of anti-G missiles. The moment our core is aware of our presence, you'll undoubtedly take evasive maneuvers. The anti-G is a flawless achievement born of scientific genius, but that is of no matter if it misses the target. Understood? Yeah, sure. Let's get our done. Homing interface activated. Commence bombardment. Oh, literally anything. Okay. Why, I dare say you're a natural. With the apparatus's propulsion engines neutralized, our core is defenseless. What are you waiting for? Capture him. No, he's not finished yet. Well, so the cornered brute still has some fight left in him. I trust you can show him the folly of his perseverance. I can stop him. I was actually trying to pick the bottom one, but that's fine. The music is based on Ultimate theme. Yeah, the good bit passed. There was a part where they had Ultima theme. You could definitely tell. Excellent work. Quickly, we must go after him. Yeah, sorry. There was a bit that was Ultima. It's gone.
Yeah, it's alright. It's okay.
Well, you're looking a lot more alive than last time I saw you. What cruel irony that the vessel should crash here, of all places. Surrender. There is no escape. Yeah.
It's you, Gaius. And who are you? What do you mean? I'm Valens, the man destined to inherit the Imperial throne. All right, very well. We'll do this the hard way. This man is not Valens. His eyes are weird. I'll not soon forget how Valens' face froze with fear in his final moments, how the light in his green eyes extinguished along the flame of his life. Yet the resemblance is uncanny, all the same. I will not ask again. Who are you? Answer sincerely, or atone for your sins with your life. My name is Procopius, and I served as the Pilus of the 7th Legion under the Lord Valen's command. When I reviewed the 7th Legion's records, I saw no mention of there being another of his kin within its ranks. Your face. Surely not. That's right. I would gladly do it again. For Lord Valens to become Emperor, his life would have been under constant threat. This is my expression of devotion, my willingness to sacrifice myself in his name. To go so far as to change your own face. But why steal the Mark II? Like your master, I presume you wish to use it to ascend to the throne. The throne is but a means to an end. My true aspiration is to embolden the people of the shattered remains of Garlemald, to rise up once more and take what's theirs by birthright. Only we Garleans are fit to inherit this star, herding the cattle masses as we milk them for all they're worth. This is the way it should be, just as Lord Valens envisioned. In the words of Emperor Solus, no lands must remain beyond our grasp. Go forth, conquer, rule.
He drank the Kool-Aid.
He did. You need to find yourself a new purple drink. The ravings of a madman. Unless you wonder, I've not killed him. We've recovered the Mark II and apprehended our perpetrator. Let us return to Turncliffe. All right.
He's not so big after all, huh?
Mm-hmm. My thanks for lending your aid, despite the suddenness of my request. The children will be able to rest easy, knowing the impostor has been captured and the vessel reclaimed. That said, you are here on other business. Let us delay it no longer. Now, could you enlighten me as to why you came to deliver clothing samples?
Oh, I'm doing a friend for a favor. No, a favor for a friend. That would be weird.
An enterprise founded by a former scion, with you acting on their behalf. Clearly the equipment's of fine make. I and my associates will give it all due consideration. Now, still, I confess I'm rather surprised to see the champion of Eorzea doing so mundane a task as delivery. This Tataru must command a great deal of respect.
It was unwise to refuse the coinkeeper of the Scions.
To hear you speak so, she's clearly not one to be trifled with. I shall heed your words, should I ever meet with her at the negotiation table. In any case, I believe your errand here is complete. But if you're willing, there's another I would ask of you. The boys are doubtless still unnerved by what just happened earlier. I would assuage their concerns. Make it clear to them that Valens is well and truly gone. But it cannot come from a Garlean like myself. Could I prevail upon you to tell them in my stead?
Sure.
Thank you. I believe you'll find the boys nearest the storage area. Pray, give them the good news.
Run, 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 all day long. Run, run, run while I sing the song. I hope you can forgive us, mister. We really are sorry about what we did. We shouldn't have snuck into the hangar or told him how to, either. Oh, you're back, mister. Please, tell us what happened.
That's the wrong voice.
Oh, you're back, mister. Please tell us what happened. Oh, sure. We beat him. So you got the machine back? Oh, you're amazing, mister. If not that man just pretending to be Valens, does that mean the real one's not coming back? Yes, he's gone for good, my dear. Pray remove any thought of that wretched man from your mind. Thank goodness. Even now I see his dreams. No, I see his face in my dreams every night. I'm always so afraid. I want to tell Miss Allie, but I know I mustn't. She's been through so much. Well, you haven't heard? Allie's been helping out at the orphanage. She's been taking really good care of us. We don't want to worry you. Could you keep what's happened a secret? We heard that Valens did awful things to Miss Allie, too. Please, we don't want to bring back all those horrible memories. Sure. Oh, thank you, mister. You're the best. Say, you know Miss Allie, right? Do you think you could help us? We want to make her wish come true for being so kind to us. What do you need? We heard she dreams of having a portrait of her family. We think it'd be nice if someone painted one for her. But besides Master Gaius, her family's gone. We could describe her siblings to the artist. Well, yes, that could work. Leave it to me. I may have just the thing. Really? Oh, then fetch the painter. Sure thing. Could you tell Miss Allie and Mr. Gaius to meet us at the lookout? Sure. Then I pray I shall take a leaf out of Nero's book and prepare a surprise of my own. Pray meet me at the lookout once you've spoken with Gaius and Allie. You got it.
Have you spoken with the children?
Oh, yeah, they were wanting a thing for Miss Allie.
Though Valen's atrocities left scars that may never heal, his victims will be relieved by the news. And it's heartening to see they wish to perform such an act of kindness for Allie. Very well, I will do as they ask. I shall meet everyone there shortly.
Pieter. Oh, forgive me, I didn't know you'd be visiting. What brings you here?
Oh, you know, this, that, the other. I need you to describe your siblings to me.
The children said they wanted to do that for me. Well, that's very kind of them. Well, it's true I've spoken to this on occasion. A family portrait just wouldn't feel right without Miss Cynthia and Rican and Rex and Alphonse. Still, it wouldn't be right to refuse. They're only trying to cheer me up, after all. I'd best go and meet with them at the lookout.
All right, go ahead.
They're on their way, then. Perfect. I'll make my own preparations in the meantime. All that remains is to wait on models and esteemed portraitist. I know you. Ho there.
What did you just call me?
Gaius, Allie. Would you mind standing over there? Glad you like my joke. Make sure you draw her nice and pretty, mister. I'll do my best.
Oh, there.
Did we do it right? Are we making her dream come true? Oh, yes, I think you've made her very happy. We cannot ignore the fact that Gaius is not one of her family. I know, but everyone else is gone. I wish we could have done more for her. Don't worry, child. As I mentioned, I prepared a little surprise of my own. I have all of her friends.
Yes, please.
So all of her dead family members were stored in the cube. Look, Ellie. They're all here. While I understand your surprise, you'll have to sit still for the portrait, I'm afraid.
Kitty, what? Yeah, that tickle.
Happy Cat is like, but Mommy, I love you.
Yeah.
Thank you. We're so happy Miss Allie's wish came true. Thanks for helping us, mister. We wanted to thank you, too, so we got you a gift. We found them on the beach. They're our friends at the orphanage. They're our greatest treasure. A pair of pretty pink shells. Oh, these will be great for Totaro. Oh, we'd better go now, but we hope you like it. Mahina may find the shells a beautiful complement to Totaro's memento. Return to Old Charlan and show them to her. Welcome back, Peter. Sorry. Look at my voice. Welcome back, Peter. How did you fare with Caius and Turkey? Up comes the kitty. My goodness, not only did you help him recapture stolen war machina, but you even helped fulfill his daughter's dream. I'm not sure whether I should be in awe of your ability to solve problems, or offer my commiserations for encountering so many in the first place. Mayhap that is simply the lot of a distinguished adventurer. Which reminds me, we were able to procure a new adornment for Miss Tataru's necklace. Oh yeah, I got some pink seashells. My, that's simply remarkable. Ah, these must be the fabled rose shells of Welt. I hear they're both rare and beautiful, making them the perfect choice for various types of jewelry. If we polish them up and make a few refinements, I am certain we can incorporate them into the necklace. Ah, there's something else in this package. A rolled canvas of a portrait. It looks like it must be a gift for you. Owing to your kind assistance, I believe you are running for a forging contract of Wales' interim government. That could be no desirable result for the boutique. You have my heartfelt thanks, Pietro. Huzzah. Must complete the main scenario quest, Growing Light, to undertake this quest. Alright. So basically I have to get to Dawn Trail first. All right. I'm going to go to Foundation and get a portrait of Pieter before I continue. This is a happy cat in my lap. This is our portraitist over here, I think. That's good enough. Ishtala, Thancred, Orianjay, Tatarataru, Alfino, Alice, Kryl, and Grahatia. We just grab all kinds of portraits. So whose portrait do I want? I'll grab Ishtola and Grahatia. I'm going to put those up in my residence right now.
Get a portrait of yourself?
Nope. Nope. I thought I had an option for a portrait of myself, but nope.
Oh, you purchased a portrait.
Purchase of portraits of other people.
Ooh.
There's a happy cat right here.
Yes, I see that. And his happy closed eyes are
Yes.
on camera.
Yep. Kitty's like, oh, so much happiness.
Oh, I loves.
You love eating.
Like more, please.
What do my hands smell like? Fish? Now don't scratch, Bradley. Yeah.
He's like,
Just stay like
scratch
that.
if I want to. He's still on that side. Gratia on that side.
You got it solo.
Yep.
What I would love is a portrait of Parsifal.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think we're good.
Hers is so pretty.
Mm-hmm. Graw's got a good one, too.
Yeah.
And, of course, we got Inquire Within.
Yes.
All right, so next is going to be the Unwelcome Visitor. Professor Claudian scarcely contains his excitement as he informs you the crystal has guided him to signs of another such memory repository from the past. So more dungeons. Peripety Archivist. You seek records of the Pandemonium's creations. Master Themis was just finishing perusing the very same. I should not be surprised that we both arrived at the same conclusion. Luckily, I saved you the trouble and gleaned what information I could. Ah, so you know each other. I was dreading having to once again scour the archives, but perhaps instead I'll rest for a spell. If there's nothing else, I shall take my leave. As should we, for we have undone the warding sigil blocking the entrance to Abyssos. I came here merely to chase an idle idle suspicion, while awaiting your return. Fortunately, while Pandemonium's protective wards continue to be assailed by our unknown foe, there have been no fluctuations so great as to make me doubt Kyotos' capacity to keep watch over Asphialodos while I'm away. He works diligently to master interment, that he might deliver the creations back to their cages by his own hand. I thought it best to give him time to hone his craft. And since fate has brought us both here, I will ask you to accompany me while I attend to another matter. More idle suspicions than I would like to chase down. Rest assured, it shall not take long. I simply have a few questions to ask an acquaintance of mine. Come, he's agreed to meet us at the Naeus of Pandemonium. I don't think that's where I was supposed to go. Yeah. Back to ground floor. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, it's good screeches. He's like, more please, father. I was not done with the scritches. That bump on his neck has gone away.
Oh, good. Probably just due to me stabbing him.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, tickle? He had a very twitchy back for a second. Okay. Ooh, you have got purrs going on. I also need to go to Mordona soon. All right. As I have pondered our expedition into Pandemonium, I could not help but be mystified by how strongly the warders we encountered felt for La Brea, good for ill. Hesperos and Iacnos were two sides of the same coin. The former looked like his mentor was absolute devotion, while the other looked to his father with bald hatred. It was kind of weird. I would not expect a familiar such as you to understand this, but such extreme emotions toward a single individual are quite rare indeed. Naturally, I feel gratitude toward my mother and father, yet we are all equals in the larger picture of the star. This view is not unique to myself. It's more or less accepted as the way of things. By contrast, the researchers in Pandemonium seem to view La Habrea with a feeling approaching obsession. Whether driven by love or hate, they have all been drawn to him. And many other aspects of the facilities, particulars, I find troubling besides. I've decided the best course of action would be to go straight to the source and pose my questions to a member of the wards of La Habrea. My apologies to have kept you waiting, Master Themis. I understand you're conducting an investigation into Pandemonium, and I wish to know of its origins. Indeed. In particular, I wish to know why exactly Pandemonium was built directly under Elpis. The facility is overseen by the wards of La Habrea, after all. Why keep it so close to Elpis, whose governing Bardi has no say to day-to-day operations? At first I thought it was simply a matter of convenience, as creations could be deemed failures by the researchers of Elpis could be easily ushered into their new homes. Imagine my surprise when a trip to the archives revealed that many of the creations were sent from organizations beyond Elpis, including from the wards of La Habrea themselves. Given this, albeit limited information, I cannot but feel that the academia in either would have been a more fitting locale. What does Elpis have that cannot be found there? Well, these are fitting questions, and ones we've asked ourselves many times in recent years. Alas, the nature of Pandemonium's construction does not lend itself to relocation. When first it was built, circumstances weren't as they are now. As you surmise, the majority of the creations kept within Pandemonium were sent from Elpis. Yet as the years passed, interests changed. Failures in creations deemed too flawed even to submit to Elpis's paradoxically drew the attention of Pandemonium's researchers. That is quite the change, and in fact, it almost runs counter to the facility's original purpose. Who was it that decides which creations will be the subject of research? Master La Habrea. Such authority is reserved for the chief key ward, and he has taken it upon himself to step into that role. So, if Pandemonium's resources were being misused, it'd be under La Habrea's authority, correct? I know not what you're suggesting, but the key wards also hold some sway within the facility. Not even Master La Habrea would be free from their scrutiny. They are duty-bound to report any irregularities as soon as possible. Though I admit, as of late, their communication has been somewhat sporadic. We but recently received a report from one of the key wards stating that all is well within Pandemonium's walls. Really? And you're certain that a key ward sent it? Well, yes, of course. Our communication suffered a temporary obstruction, but I can assure you the wards did their due diligence in confirming the identity of the sender. Thank you. This information will be helpful to my investigation. That will be all for my prying. And I shall take my leave. While you are yet permitted to conduct your investigation freely, I must remind you that the warder's work is delicate, and it would be remiss to disturb them for longer than is necessary. The warders we can't seem to find any of? All is well. Well, that's a blatant lie that we can both attest. One of the remaining key wards is most certainly in league with the party behind this. Let us hurry. I know not why our adversary sent that report, but 'tis plain we must return to Pandemonium with haste. Gates of Pandemonium. I cannot guess as to why this false report has risen now, but it certainly bodes ill. As is the knowledge that our mysterious mastermind has at least one more keyword to puppet. Regardless, they've tipped their hand, and we would be remiss to leave Argyadnos at the mercy of their machinations. Let us hope no harm has befallen him. Not quite. I've traced these sigils countless times, yet still I lack the strength to maintain the spell. And now time works against me. I can no longer be victim to my own ineptitude. Wait, who goes there? There's something to be admired about such single-minded effort, even if your methods leave much to be desired. You allowed this familiar to catch you unawares. Have you set your sights so high as to forget you walk upon the earth? I know this creature. It's a familiar of the Phoenix. The monsters lock away. That it is. In spite of the trouble I went into freeing it, I might ask, begrudge me for addressing you in this ill-fitting form if you must, but with control of Argyadnos wrested from my grasp, it is simply the best I can offer you. Hide if you will, but mark my words. I will find you and make you pay for the chaos you've sown. Now, there's no need for such hostility. A calm heart stays the course. The wisdom of the Habrea, your father. And how would you know what wisdom he speaks? I've heard these words many times. The scolding of a tutor whose student struggled to grasp the most rudimentary of lessons, seething with disgust. No. I'm not told that to anyone, not even keyword Hesperos. That can only mean one thing. But you still insist on mocking me. Stop this farce, La Brea. At last you move to keep up. Pity that you remain behind, nonetheless. What? As ever you are, always you fail to learn, fail to understand, fail to act. And through fate deigned to offer an escape, you remain here. You are bereft of magical prowess and common sense both. But you need not despair. Dull though you may be, you are yet indispensable to Pandemonium's great experiment. There's the affection I remember. Tell me, did I ever once measure up to your expectations? You shall. Take pride in that, and rejoice to see your wish fulfilled. What? What wish? Come, and all shall be revealed. All this rage, this hatred, is but a consequence of ignorance. Our desires align more than you know. What are you? Uninvited guests join our reunion. It seems fortune no longer favors you. Do you think I have an interest in listening to your prattle, let alone bowing to your will? I'm no longer a child, and my faith lies with those who have earned it. So these are the heroes who brought Hesperus low. Even his power divine flowed through his veins. 'Tis plain there are worthier subjects to contend with. So yes, that book is a painter's tablet, and it's got paintbrushes and colors.
Oh.
But yeah, it's a scholar's book.
Okay.
Thank you. Had you even shown up a moment later, I shudder to think what would have become of me. There's something I must tell you. I know who's behind this. There is but one person who can hold thrall over familiar creation and keyword alike. And so there can be but one conclusion. La Brea was the driving force behind this chaos from the start. There is a logic to that. There are few with the wherewithal to even consider experimentation on such a scale, let alone the capacity to create demigods from man and beast with the rest of us none the wiser. Considering the magnitude of the work and the convocation of the words, his relatively minor role as chief keyword comes under little scrutiny, even as it provides him the authority to wield dangerous magics. It may serve as veil and mantle both. Still, I find the notion hard to believe. The misdeeds perpetrated here could not have been done by the La Brea I know. You've met him, yes? Do you think he's capable of this? La Brea is capable of anything and everything. La Brea is capable of far more than you know. He may not have gone that far in this time, but eventually. Is he? So you believe La Brea is a man of few scruples, if it brings his goals closer in reach. That alone should be enough, but let me assure you, La Brea holds nothing so dear as his own ambition. While he may not be the one to let emotion stand in the way of his mission, I can't believe there are no depths to which he would not stoop. Although we met but briefly, the impression he left on me stands in stark contrast to your evaluations. Though his methods are ever unorthodox, they seemed guided by a firm understanding of what is just. There's one way to find out for certain. We delve deeper into Pandemonium and pull back the curtain on this mystery ourselves. Wise course. I would not deny the truth if I saw it with my own eyes, even if it was discomforting to behold. Indeed. Then we must move forward with no excessive caution. La Brea, or whoever's behind this, will likely spread their tentacles into every corner of Pandemonium. We can safely assume the other keywords won't greet us with open arms. Agreed. Let us make our way to Abyssos, one careful step at a time. I shall stay by Cardion's side, in case our enemies think to target him again. Could I trouble you to take the vanguard?
I got you, fam.
Thank you. As a precaution, I shall safeguard you with a simple spell. This will ensure that, even should we become separated, my phantom warriors will still come to your aid. If it does come to battle, the keyword's magics will put us at a disadvantage once again. Luckily, we have you to even the scales somewhat. I trust you should be liberal with your weight.
Indeed.
Quest accepted. Abyssos, the fifth circle, is now accessible. I think we'll have 13 circles on this as well. All right, so
What kind of place
use the restroom right back. So this is Pandemonium. This is underneath Elvis. This is where the rejects get sent. So the creatures that didn't make it.
Oh, I thought that
Is this
they...
trash?
I am that. I thought that they just unmade them. I saw them dissipate.
So sometimes they get unmade, but sometimes they're deemed worthy of study. Get sent to this one, Pandemonium, underneath Elvis. Many of the most dangerous creatures get sent. And those are the ones that are currently in the mountain. Hi.
Funny, I come here to just one shot from level 2 ladybug. And the darn marmots around it are like, hey, you killed my friend! F you!
Yes, they do. They make great effects. Oh, you got that. That is it all. Sounds like a great plan.
All right. There's our entrance. And here we go. Okay. Where's your plug?
It's that corner. Thank you.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
Abyssos, the fifth circle. Mythic creation, the proto-carbuncle. We are in a cutscene.
feasting on some lively bait. How did that happen? All right, and there you have it. All right, we got all the goodies. Very nice. I got accommodation somehow. So this is where research is conducted on creations imbued with poisons and venoms. Arachnos and I are conveyed not far from there. It seems our foe is finding it more difficult to surprise us. Fortunately for you, since they appear particularly keen to see you dispatched as quickly as possible. That's not cool. Even alone, you are forced to be reckoned with. Part of me is glad you emerged victorious, that I might observe you further. Were the circumstances different, I might thank you for keeping my son alive for this long. But I believe we can forego introductions, unless I've misread you. Let's see, he's La Habrea, but is he the La Habrea? La Habrea. Passively perceptive. Yes, I am La Habrea of the Convocation of 14. Remember, those names are titles, not names. So it makes me suspicious. This is not the guy we think it is. If you truly are who you claim to be, then answer this question. That can wait. What's this? Now, this is curious. The trap I wove at your feet reacts to aether, but you remain unaffected. Such thin aether and an unfamiliar composition besides. It's no matter, I suppose. A more direct approach will beget the same results. I would advise you to think carefully before deciding your next action. Strike me down here. Yaknoi's wish shall remain unfulfilled. Never again shall he meet Athena. Mother, you would dare hide behind her name. Listen well, Arachnos. We are of the same mind concerning your mother. You have your allies for protection, so what harm is there in hearing me out? Noise, wait. There's a question I must ask first. If you truly are La Habrea, why speak such blatant lies? Bitter in defeat, are we? Say my name. The simple request. Demas, was it? A trifle soon forgotten, as are you. I have my answer. The La Brea I knew took pride in the convocation and would never suffer its denigration. You sully his station with this farce. Demas, what are you saying? La Brea and I hardly see eye to eye, but I know his voice when I hear it. Indeed, he's making a passing fine imitation in appearance and manner. However, the real La Habrea would never call me by the name Demas. What trouble have you gotten yourself into, Elidibus? Impostor, you have no right to claim that form or that mask. What? Who? 'Twas a mask that sickened me to wear, I assure you. The mask of La Habrea, a man who values his position above all, who would murder his own wife in pursuit of duty. Yet you would assume my name and wield powers that are mine by right. Any worth you may have had hinges on that which you so despise.
Such trite provocations. I'll not be goaded into finishing ere my work is done. Eric Noyes, listen well. I am Hephaestus, and it is to I whom you shall call father. What in the name of creation? We do well not to stand idle while our enemy's about. I believe an explanation's in order, Elidibus. Let us return to safety, so that you may provide it. That sounds more like the La Habrea I know. So Elidibus, I believe, is the guy who became Warrior of Light. Before we depart, however, I must offer an apology. As La Habrea said, I am Elidibus, one of the Convocation and an emissary of their will. For reasons which do not involve you, it was necessary to hide my identity while investigating this place. Still, that hardly excuses my deception. Well, I know a thing or two about deception myself. Well, that's reassuring to hear. The burdens we bear are heavy enough without adding a grudge to their weight. In any case, we have pressing matters to attend to. Let us do as La Habrea suggested and return to the gates. We can speak there. Please help him. Save him. That's probably not important. As you're aware of by now, I am known as Elidibus. After my dear friend Azim and I detected the irregularities in Pandemonium, we decided the best course of action would be to hide my station as I conducted my investigation. I'm sure La Habrea as well is eager to find out why I hid who I was. So I shall save that story for later. First, I'd like to speak of you, my friend. Although neither Azim nor I have ever met you in the flesh, you came with this highest recommendation. That alone was enough for me to accept you as an ally without question. That somewhere in the world a guiding star so similar to himself was out there amused Azim to no end. There's not a shade of doubt in his heart that you would be a formidable ally. Furthermore, I have heard stories of Mistress Vana, who held the position of Azim previously, journeyed with a familiar much like yourself. That made the decision to trust you all the easier. She, too, now dons the white robes of an advisor. If she places her absolute faith in you, I knew I would be in capable hands. Aware, though I was, of the path you had walked, I had no interest in exposing you. I merely wanted to meet you, to travel by your side for a while. I may know but a small portion of your whole story, but that's enough for me to believe you would never lead me astray. I wanted to tell you that. I don't know how long it's been since last we spoke, La Habrea, but truth be told, I'd hoped we would never would again. But I see now as a fool to think I'd ever escaping your... I see now that I was a fool to think I would ever escape your meddling. Just what is that thing that called itself La Habrea? And why is he the spitting image of your younger self? I find it hard to believe that you've only just now found out such a being was wreaking havoc in Pandemonium. Do you think matters would simply sort themselves out? I suppose you deserve at least a cursory explanation. I was well aware of the anomalies occurring within Pandemonium, including the fact that Azim and Elizabeth had taken it upon themselves to investigate. That's not a reason to insert myself into the situation. For a time, that was.
Imagine my surprise when instead of a formal report from you and yours, I received a communication from one of the key wards stating that research and operations was proceeding as usual. While Hephaestus' deception was almost childish in its simplicity, it became plain to me that your grasp of the situation was slipping. So you knew of his existence from the beginning. I can hardly imagine you would have suffered another to masquerade as sort of a convocation. Not without good reason, at least. As you well know, the name La Habrea is but a marker of my station. It is not the name I was born with. Hephaestus has claimed that for himself. I cannot fault him for it, for he is my other half, in a manner of speaking. He knows all that I know, my equal in every way, yet within his heart is naught but greed, envy, and desire, all the emotions that we're loath to acknowledge within ourselves. What you say is truth. What purpose would such a being serve? He is a product of an experimentation gone awry. This evil Kirk, though this is a reminder of the days when I was young and reckless. I thought him sealed away for good, but it seems time has a way of unearthing the shame we bury. When he spoke of my mother, he looked at you with venom in his eyes. He blamed you for his death. He blamed you for her death. Tell me, was he right to do so? His words were but the rambling of a tortured mind. The hatred and despair he endures has warped his shape of the world. The hatred and despair he endures has warped his view of the world irreparably. And now that he is awakened, he must be put to rest. If he succeeds in breaching Pandemonium's protective wards, he shall invite danger unto our star. As chief keyword in Pandemonium, it is my duty to decide the proper course of action. As such, I declare that all research shall be summarily abandoned and the facility destroyed. What? You'd leave the other warders to their doom? To the choice befitting of La Habrea. So, you disagree. You speak of duty, and ours is to guide our star and its inhabitants upon the correct course. It is no surprise, then, that you would choose annihilation of Pandemonium if its existence posed an even remotest risk to our people. Yet, as you can see by Erecnoid's response, the decision is somewhat more nuanced than that. Azim and I grappled with this conundrum for some time, in fact. Oh? It's precisely why I chose to involve myself directly. It was the only way I could truly determine the best solution. You need not trouble yourself with that further. The chief keyword must prevent the worst from occurring, no matter the cost. Your feelings, Elidibus, are of no consequence. Have you taken even a moment to consider another path? No, you have not. You spared nary a thought for aught but yourself and your duty. You have no idea the trials we've endured, the foes that Peter has stood against. Theater, was it? A being of such an aether as I've never seen. What are you? He's a guiding star that shall lead us safely through this. Thanks to his stout arm and steadfast courage, we've subdued the mythic creations and returned them to their cells. Speaking of which, I would hear your opinion, Pieter. As outsiders, we are in a unique position to look upon circumstances with our vision unclouded by attachment.
What was that you said about being an emissary?
That's brilliant. Elidibus the emissary can speak on our behalf. Should he judge our approach the more sound, then even La Habrea would be compelled to listen. Music. As Elidibus, I am duty-bound to assess the matter from a position of impartiality. My opinion, as Themis, would carry no weight. You understand what that means, yes? I do. Even though you've walked with us all this time, seeing what we have seen, based on that alone, I trust you'll find the best way forward. Yeah, sure, I'll trust you this time. Very well. Then, in my capacity as emissary, I shall state my judgment. At present, there are merits both in destroying Pandemonium outright and in taking time to rescue the researchers, and neither is yet an impossible task. Therefore, I judge that the most measured course would be to continue upon our present course. We delve into Abyssos, interring any mythic creations we encounter along the way. You have yet to witness Pieter's might and Ariakos' resolve. I ask that you see our capabilities, firsthand, and only then determine if our endeavor is futile. If such is the will of the emissary, I shall obey. However, if indeed I find your strength to be lacking, I trust there will be no objections to the immediate destruction of Pandemonium. Well, you needn't worry about that, because we won't fail. You're bolder than I remember. And you're even more tedious than I remember. Pieter, come. Find me when you're finished. Our noise is understandably frustrated, but if we are to conquer Abyssos, we must go forth with clear hands and clear heads. Pray, lend an ear to his troubles, that their weight may be lightened.
What's the dealio? How can I help, man? What's wrong?
You do have my gratitude. You'll fit as I am to show up at the moment. Without your words to sway him, Labrea would have carried out his plan without even a second thought. When at first we realized the creations had slipped their bonds, the other keywards did all in their power to restore order. Even though they could have chosen escape, they remained to aid their allies. I'm certain not a soul among them would wish to see this facility erased from the world, and they don't deserve to be abandoned simply for carrying out their duty. And besides, Hephaestus has secrets yet untold, secrets that would be buried if Pandemonium were reduced to rubble. I mean to uncover the truth behind his words, the truth of my mother. While La Brea was quick to dismiss his claims, I fail to see what Hephaestus would gain by fabricating such a story. All I was told of my mother's death was that that she perished in an accident. No one would say more, as it's almost as if they feared saying more, in fact. Even if it was not La Brea that dealt the fatal blow, we've seen with our own eyes how quickly we can condemn others to die. I only wish to know at last what befell her. What do you think, Pieter? Does La Brea, have any regard for the lives of others? Or will he carry out his duty with another's blood in his hands?
He once used my ally as a vessel with his own twisted ends.
What would possess him to do that? Even for La Brea, such an act would be a black mark against him if it were ever made known. I can't imagine how much your ally suffered. But it is plain there's much to consider. Thank you, Pieter. It is easy for me to get carried away by emotion where he is concerned. We should focus on the task at hand, proving to La Habrea that we are capable of saving Pandemonium and its keepers. The most convincing way to do that would be to regain control of Abyssos.
Yeah.
Although I'm loath to admit it, he would know more about those depths than any of us. And seeing as how we require every advantage we could afford, Peter, would you speak to him for us? He seems to have a special interest in your capabilities and may deign to help you at your suggestion, if only to see what you can do.
Hey there, La Habrea. You might be okay in this age, but all I've ever known is you as a jerk, so that's where I'm starting from.
Arachnois appears to have built a deep trust in you, and Elidibus tells me you share some relation with Azum. Your unusual aether does not mark you as a familiar. It is unlike anything I've ever seen, even among the countless concepts I've observed. To think that I would encounter an existence I could not create by my own hand. Azum never ceases to surprise. Previous Azum was much the same. In taking the entirety of the star into consideration, she came to hold dear emotions and people that a more logical mind would have discarded. It has made her act in her own self-interest much more often than not. Just as you and Elidibus have conducted yourselves in this manner, the true danger of Azum's nature is its tendency to infect all those he comes into contact with. Emmett South said much the same. Trust that I shall do naught that would violate my duty. And yet you do so frivolously, invoking your authority as emissary to justify this little excursion. It matters little, however. Only your deeds can speak for you now. You wish to know more of Abyssos, I take it. Although I no longer have control over many of its functions, I can yet sense what creations lie within. The chief keyword's reach is far indeed. Well then, what do we have to look forward to? I sense no creations of note. Perhaps they have been made into fodder for experimentation, or perhaps they've been transferred into the deeper circles. Yet Hephaestus would never allow you rite of passage. He's left a trail for you to overcome. I speak of hegemony, keyword of Abyssos. Though her presence is stained with marks of corruption, it is unmistakable. I knew her as a woman gifted in magic and blessed with a highly logical mind. While I can sense those qualities within her still, there is something else at work. If I had to hazard a guess, I would say it's because she's already been twisted into Hemiasos. Doubtless against her will. Pieter, Themis, we must rescue her from that cruel fate. And if we cannot, we can at least steal her away until we find the means to undo the damage. Your allies make you bold, Akianos. I very much look forward to seeing how far they can carry you. Abyssos, the sixth circle, is now accessible. And I think I just went to the bathroom, but I'm going to go ahead and take another potty break because I do not trust that I might just get thrown right into another battle. Wow, we are down to 4 missions. I think 7 total. Yep. Because I've hidden the VNC because I don't want to be doing those right now. Be right back.
Let's go.
Time for the sixth circle. Less than 5 minutes. Predicted amount of time. Right now. Okay, well, there you go. Oh, that works. Oh my. Hegemony. Hegemony? Maybe hegemony. Let me get the serial nexuses. We got double scholar. And it keeps some ethereal nexuses. Well, I wasn't hit by it, but because of the delay, I was hit by it.
Got him. She became naked. Yeah. We've won. The key ward is sealed away and alive this time. La Brea can't deny us now. Our plan was a success, although I hardly need to tell you that. Hegemony has been sealed away, and now you have no choice but to admit the merit in our methods. You have the right of it. I'm not so petty as to deny the achievements of those I've squabbled with, no matter how strongly we may disagree. Moreover, this being either as thin as retreating mist, unable to wield even creation magics, yet powerful enough to subdue a Hemiethos, has made this ordeal far more interesting. Then we have leave to continue. As for that, there is one among you whose very presence puts the others at risk. It would be best to proceed without him, for failure would have consequences that reach far beyond the pandemonium. And of whom do you speak? A warder who cannot even conduct his duty without aid. In its place, hope alone is not enough to overcome what awaits you. A single misstep will send all to their doom. So long as we can each do our part and look to the allies by our side, even a neophyte can upraise his companions. That's the thing Pieter and Themis taught me. While I do not wish to express any bias, I am inclined to agree. In my investigation has made anything clear. It is that we are together greater than the sum of our parts. And hope has brought us this far. It drives us to seek the right path, and to act before that path lies close to us. And tell me, what is it that you hope for? To see Hephaestus in chains. That's the surest way to prevent further sacrifices. I'm aware that destroying Pandemonium would rid us all of him, but the cost is far too great. And I admit I wish to know how he means to resurrect Athena. There we have it. You must leave this place. At once. Do not think to set foot on Pandemonium again. You are capable. That much is plain. Yet Hephaestus cannot be suffered to live, and I shall not allow his talk of resurrection to poison mine or anyone else's mind. Life flows in a cycle, this is known. All souls return to the underworld. Athena's is no exception. She has likely found a new vessel and a new journey to embark upon. You cannot be ignorant of the folly of Hephaestus' words. Even were he to breathe life into a body, the soul contained within would not be your mother's. What if our knowledge is imperfect? What if Hephaestus has discovered something that no one else has? He knows all that you do, understands the bitter reality of the world. He wouldn't pursue the impossible. Think, Ariadnos. I've already explained that he is merely my twisted reflection. It is worth bringing back your mother if he means to use others and discard them like tools. Is it worth it to see her once more? Now you measure the worth of your colleagues' lives. What was that foolish braying about saving them? Merely a performance to hide your childish devotion to your mother. Please, such barbs get us nowhere. We should at first discuss... You would call me a fool? You, who murdered your wife in service of ambition. For the sake of the star, no doubt. I can hear it again. The voice inside my head. I know who to follow, Hephaestus. Father. Mother, oh, I love you, and this voice will guide me to you. No, listen not, Hephaestus. Apologies, you taught me that calm heart stays the course, but I could never even grasp the rudder. Off in search of Mommy. Quest accepted. Oh yeah, we're good. That was Hephaestus' work. There can be no doubt. Seems he's learned from his previous failure. Hephaestus is cunning, despite his warped mind. Whatever took hold of Hephaestus, it makes short work of his reason. From the moment he laid eyes upon me, I could sense his hatred and rage, simmering below the surface. 'Twas but a matter of time until it spilled forth, and that was when he fell into the spell's embrace. A magic woven with such skill that Arachnoides himself failed to notice until it was too late. If this is the measure of Hephaestus' power, then the other key wards had little chance to resist it. We saw his work during the encounter with Hesperos. Doubtless Hephaestus' magics fed his admiration and envy, until there was room for naught else in his heart. There was something else besides. Did you not feel the presence of another just now? I did. It was weird. I don't really know how to explain it. As I thought. Someone was trying to warn Atheianos. But who? Could it have been another of the key wards? Alas, their warning arrived too late. It had already provoked Arianos past the point of no return. I bear the burden for this failure. In my stubbornness, I could but scorn the boy. And Hephaestus knew that. And now I dread to think of the ordeal which awaits him due to my rashness. There is yet time to save him. We can easily regain control of Abyssos, giving us a firm foothold from which to brave Pandemonium's lowest level. The enemy's within our reach. Yeah, let's go get it. Just as with Hephaestus, This is as with Hesperos. Archiasnos is in danger of being consumed by Hephaestos' spell. However, I have faith that he will not easily lose sight of himself. The way forward is clear. La Habrea, pray tell us all you know of what we shall find beyond Abyssos. I can only assume one more keyword lies in wait. The deepest level of Pandemonium is called Tartaros, and your passage shall be challenged not only by a keyword. Hephaestos has laid traps in every corner of the hall. You will have no hope of surviving far past the threshold. That, as I expect, is where Piotr shall shine. His dissolute aether shall allow him to slip through the traps unimpeded. We saw it when Hephaestus had no effect. And doubtless, even he has yet to devise a countermeasure. Yeah. Then time is of the essence. Hephaestus is already well aware that you can match a keyword in battle. He will not stand idle while you stroll past his other defenses at your leisure. Agreed. However, clarity will be indispensable to our success, and I'm afraid I must insist upon it ere we depart. Oh? We've yet to discern to what end Hephaestus would use Archiachnois. If you know, I would ask that you enlighten us. And then there's the matter of Athena. Why do you so fiercely rebuke Archiachnos' feelings toward his own mother? While I understand the very thought of resurrecting the dead as anathema, you act as if grief over her passing should be equally so. How are we to grapple with what plagues our friend and drive our foe if you refuse to even acknowledge it? I do acknowledge it. I wish only to spare those that feel the greater pain. Oh. And so you drove your own son over the edge. How dare you? No, you're right. The blame for Archiachnos' fate is squarely on my shoulders. Very well, I shall lay bare the truth, but only after the foe before us has been laid low. All right. The remaining keyword is Agdilithis. She has served in Pandemonium since its inception, and her affinity for magic is peerless, even among the keywords. Hephaestus knows that losing her would mean the end of his experiments. He's hidden her in a space unreachable by conventional means. But your presence makes mockery of such barriers. The scarcity of your aether means it would be trivial to send you directly to Agdilithis. We shall approach as closely as caution will allow. We know where the battle will commence, so I do not anticipate difficulty in detecting your presence. From afar, I shall do my best to provide you with ground on which to fight, and phantom allies to aid you. As for the interment, I have yet to think of a foolproof method. Interment shall not be necessary. From here I can sense Aegisthus' essence, but it is scarcely recognizable. Hephaestus is more ambitious with her than he was with Hegemony. She's been transfigured, such that barely a scantling of herself remains. We can but take comfort in what a mercy the underworld will be to her. All right, let's go. Abyssos, the seventh circle, is now accessible.
Just to check. So 12. I can anticipate probably 12. See if we can improve our gear before this drops. Okay. Portrait. Time for Sleeping Gentleman. And before I even got to that, let's do the 7th circle. So there'll be one more after this one. Hey, wake up, you. For multivitamin. Here we go. Well, since we've done this one. A law ball. Well, first try. Try. But it's still vamos. Miestos Agdistis. That looks like a guardian tree. Alicto vamos. Oops. Alright, Spaniards. That's how good Scream was. Oh, it's becoming the keyboard. How dreadful. When I leave, then you shall become mine. Sacred soil. Barely made it on that one. Barely made it on that one too. Platform crumbles. Withhold magic from thin air. That's the problem. I don't have my ferry out. That's embarrassing. Life forms appear from the fruit. And down it goes. Leave me to my research or become twisted life forms emerge from the fruit. All right, let's try again.
I was zoomed in. Got him. They all left before I could say GG. I got a player commendation. Thank you. So we defeated the Great Tree, the Elemental. The moment Agdistis was slain, the flow of aether from Pandemonium focused keenly on this location, creating a tunnel of sorts through which we could quickly convey ourselves. It was almost as if we were ushered here. This space was created with care and concealed with powerful wards. Only a key ward would have been able to detect it, and even then with great difficulty. Ergo. If only I could restore Tartaros to order. But I'm afraid this is the most I can manage with such power as remains to me. It's been too long, Master La Habrea. Likewise, Keyword Augustus. I should not be surprised you're able to break free of Hephaestus' spells, even diminished as you are. It was not an easy task, even with your aid. His curses dug into one's heart, creating a storm of emotions, all too easy to become lost in. Only by chance did a fragment of myself remain, illuminating a path through the madness. And thus am I able to appear before you now, even while my body was powerless to resist Hephaestus' commands. Some small part of my logical mind stood alone in defiance. I had even managed to speak to the outside world. The report. That was you. Doubtless you recognize my voice from the many times I've called out to you. The hope that those pleas would not fall on deaf ears was all kept me from succumbing to hopelessness.
Thank you. Appreciate your help, Mother Tree. But I have a greater purpose here than simply saying my farewells. There's something you must know, that the tragedies of the past do not repeat in the present. Forgive me for what I'm about to do, Master La Habrea, but the story must be told. 'Tis the only way to understand Hephaestus' fixation on Ariadnos. No longer can you hide your heart away. Hephaestus? No, the mask marks him as La Habrea. Master La Habrea has brought an end to Lady Athena's life and sealed it away as part of his memories and emotions within Hephaestus. These are my recollections of the moments following. And you truly have no intention of revealing the truth to Ariadnos? My lesser half is now buried where none can find it. We would be wise to do the same with our memory of this day. Blood should not sway the spirit so, but Athena's teachings have warped the boy. I fear he would see our star burn to keep his mother safe. Arachnois believes that he feels love, but he is shackled by dependence. He could not bear the truth. His dependence makes it all the more important to be open with him. He'll seek answers about his mother's loss, which shall inevitably lead him to you. Are you willing to accept the blame for Athena's death? Are you willing to accept your son's hatred? If that is what comes to pass, then so be it. Better to be burdened with hatred than the knowledge that Athena thought his body and soul mere tools to be used and discarded. Even were I were to tell him what his mother plotted, he would ever seek reasons to believe that the true fault lies with me, or even with him. Should he merely hate me, he will remain unfettered by doubt, free to serve the star from his parents' shadow. Dr. Arachnois loves his mother more than life itself, and yet, what a dreadful truth you've borne all this time. Such is La Habrea's nature. Every action, every word, a solution to life's great dilemmas, and none to spare for his own. What I've revealed to you is but a small portion of the larger picture. I shall leave it to La Habrea to paint the rest for you. And for Ariadnos, I hope. Thank you, Agdistis. I always admired you, you know. What choice did I have when you sacrificed so much to guide our star to the heavens? Hephaestus has doubtless sensed that his final keyword has fallen. We should return to the surface before he moves to strike us here. If we were to face him, we must be prepared to bring our full strength to bear. All right. Agdistis was ever a bold woman, even in her final moments, and she would unearth the secrets of my past for all to look upon. Still,
Full glad am I that she faced you as her last opponent. I could think of none more worthy to send her soul off to the other side. The vision you saw told the story far more eloquently than I ever could. Athena was consumed by her research, and was even to sacrifice even her own child if it hastened her progress. She did not offer him a position here out of a sense of pride or love. It was merely because she knew he would be the most pliable test subject. I see now why you hid the truth from him. I cannot say with certainty that Ariadne would handle the weight of such a betrayal after holding his mother on a pedestal for so long. Unfortunately, it seems not even her death is ensured his safety. Hephaestus has taken up Athena's research and succeeded in crafting Hemathoi. I know not what his ultimate end is, but it's just plain it is connected with the resurrection of Athena. That knowledge alone is sufficient to direct our next course of action. As for the rest of your story, we shall hear it after we've returned Arachnois to safety, in accordance with Aegisthus' last wish. Very well. I can at least assure you that finding... Start that again. I can at least assure you that finding him shall prove relatively simple, now that Hephaestus can no longer bend pandemonium to his will. There is but one place left for him to find refuge, the Black Heart of Tartarus, where Athena built her testing compound. We can assume that Hephaestus will offer fierce resistance. I must focus my every effort on securing a safe means of approach. Oh yeah, I can help with it. La Brea, I would ask that you assume the duty of summoning Pieter's Phantom Warriors. I have no objections. My ability to fight within Tartaros would be greatly diminished in any case. However, I wish to deal the final blow to Hephaestus myself. There's no need to dirty your hands with such a deed. I take it then that you have no intent to seal him away as before? The presence I felt when I encountered Hephaestus before bore little resemblance to the entity I created. By his own hand he's become something far more wicked. And the same magics that once shackled him may very well shatter before the power he wields. On my pride as a researcher, I'm loath to repeat the same mistake twice. I would not see these events play out again, and so he must be extinguished. All right. Well then, I shall open the way forward. Maybe finish this together. Quest accepted. Abyssos, the 8th circle, is now accessible. Where will the story go after this? I'll be curious. All right. Sleeping Gentleman. JK, LOL. Light party it is. Ooh, light party. Full party.
Ericthonios is mine, heart and soul. And with your death, none will be left to stop me.
Okay. Perfect imperfection. Hephaestus. Ariactos. How's it pronouncing that? Ooh, we got a group of cat warriors.
Rest eternal in the dark depths of this prison. Molten flame my servants rise. Out of my sight! Leave naught but ash in your wake. Let deep sorrow into your heart. A fitting death. Behold the fruits of sacrifice. You will know my rage.
Basically explaining Simon Says.
Perish in flames entrance. Go forth and sate your boundless hunger. From molten flame my servants rise. Out of my sight! I shall see my wish fulfilled.
Peter, you really didn't need to turn yourself off. Add to the difficulty level of an already difficult mission. And then I go.
I tire of
Well, let's turn on the computer while we're waiting.
behold the fruits of sacrifice. You will know my rage. Praying before a god.
Got it. Gaze of the Abyss. 15. They're all gone. They're all gone. Wow, that was very fast. Pandemonium Abyssos, complete. I got a commendation. These people are so nice. Like the one person just dying over and over again. The chain of events that led to this moment began with my error, when out of mercy, I confined you here. Now I break it, and leave no trace of you behind. This is not over. I see you will not go peacefully. I'll paint you to death. Even a cast-off would uphold his pride, though such an impulse must speak to the overwhelming arrogance of my other half. The name Hephaestus shall grow to eclipse yours. None shall remember the deeds of La Habrea once I fulfill Athena's ambition and bring Achiacnoe's dream to life. You speak as if you care a whit for the boy. Why, then, do you cower behind him as a shield? There are some desires which must not be realized. Athena would see the world destroyed if it meant that she could find hers in the ruins. As for Achiacnoe's, he knows not what his wish would beget, a truth which you have hidden from him. Do you truly believe a father's role is to deceive and manipulate? My wish? You would claim the name Hephaestus and call yourself his father. Yet you bind his mind and body in dark chains. Your words and your pride ring hollow. Athena wanted her son by her side, and he desires to return there. What wickedness is there in mending a broken family? Athena cared not for Achiacnoe's, beyond how he could serve her ends. You claim to be acting in his interest, but 'tis plain you are no different. As I ushered Athena to her end, I vowed that my sole mission in life would be to guide this star true. In service to that vow, I silenced the whispers of my heart. I could not nurture a son whilst my entire world looked to me for guidance. For that choice, I do bear the responsibility. Yet he is still my son. And I'll not suffer you to seduce him with false hope. You, who are not but the bitter dregs of Athena, and I, the very worst of us. Mother, she no. Then who? How did I? Huh?
Come back to us. We'll set this right.
I hear you. I owe you and Themis an apology. Athena, did you ever? And La Habrea, I will have my say.
How? His mind was mine.
I can't explain. Peter's words reached me through the haze. They rang loud and clear. As did the words of another, in a voice much like yours, but resounding with truth.
How? When did you master these bonds?
Oh, I've endured much worse.
You worthless... You... Into a crystal you go.
Well, you're right. It appears my failures have borne fruit after all.
Yoink.
You did well, my son. With Hephaestus' essence contained within this crystal, we may return safely, Ariaknos above. That he would bind Hephaestus with only half his senses intact. You quite understand. You quite understated his adeptness in the art of internment. It was hardly It was hardly what I had in mind, but a feat deserving of praise, nonetheless. I feel no trace of Hephaestus' poison in your mind, and for a blessing, it appears your body is none the worse for wear. I made my way here as soon as I could. I no longer sense Hephaestus, and the force assailing Pandemonium's barriers has ceased. Are we rid of him, for good and all?
Well, let's hope so. I think we messed him up pretty good.
I see. Despite his muddled senses, Hephaestus felt that to seal Hephaestus away was the better course. It wasn't so noble as that. He only knew something had to be done, so he acted. La Brea, was that how you dealt with Hephaestus in the past? Indeed. It was not but parts of his memory and soul that I cut away, a massive aether without a material vessel. Stirring his essence within a crystal was the most logical choice. On that matter, I believe the time has come for you to share the rest of your tale on Hephaestus' creation and Athena's end. I heard your words, but only vaguely, as if from under the surface of a deep pool. My mother wished to use me? I would hear the whole truth. I want to know what happened here, and what drove Athena to act as she did. I'm ready. Athena's brilliance outshone us all. Even the other members of the Words of La Brea were as children in comparison. So dedicated to research was she that it was not unheard of for her to forget meals or even to sleep. Her mind was ever grasping for knowledge, and it was in this endless search that she became obsessed with uncovering the secrets of life. You see, while we can conceive life in various forms, the means of creating a soul are beyond our ken. Similarly, though we can enhance and alter our physical vessels, we've never been bound to them. Athena's purpose was to shatter these limitations. Such limitations were not meant to be surpassed. She sought to enter the realm of the gods. Scarce few have the ability to comprehend when such a task entails, let alone the courage to attempt it. For most, the thought would be an idle fancy, considered once and then discarded. Not so for Athena. As leader of the Words of La Brea, I spoke with her about how transcendent our being. From an academic perspective, the challenge has plagued countless researchers through the ages. It was during these musings that I began to formulate a theory, a means by which a person could meld with a creation. The weaknesses of one would be mitigated by the strengths of the other, and the result could be something greater than we had ever even imagined. Though it was but a theory, Athena insisted I develop it further, curious about every detail along the way. Our conversations became more frequent, and our platonic relationship grew into something much more. I take it I was not born soon after? I was born not soon after. Just so, I believe she bore true affection for me and was blind to her hidden intentions. When Pandemonium was built and she requested to lead the researchers, I saw no reason to deny her. Even setting aside our relationship, her accomplishments as a scholar made her the obvious choice. However, in giving her Pandemonium, I also gave her free rein to conduct whatever experiments she could devise. And when you found out what she was doing, you killed her. I made haste to Pandemonium the moment I learned of these hidden chambers. I left Aegisthus to keep watch from Tartarus's vestibule, and I ventured deeper, knowing not what would await me. As for what occurred next, 'twas best to see with your own eyes. Is that me? You're well aware that out of the respect of our neighbors in Elpis, the researchers of Pandemonium are not to be masked. Yet you stand before me with your face covered. What petty defiance is this? What indeed? So quick are you to rebuke me, though you yourself have not yet set foot in these halls since their inception. You must have known you could not conceal this from myself and Aegisthus forever. As well you know that I cannot allow it to continue. I shall say this but once. Release accurate noise. Else I shall have no choice but to strike you down. I would meet my end at the hands of none other. However, ere my time has come, I will have you know the why of it. Then you will not desist. Once you understand what has driven me this far, you shall see that stopping was never an option. The feelings of one weigh little against the needs of an entire star. Of course, of that I'm well aware, but you did not deign to descend from your lofty heights simply to lecture me as you would a child. You have an interest in my motivations. What possessed Athena, peerless researcher and mother to the son of the great La Habrea, to embark upon the path of her own downfall? History will demand an answer, but it is you who deserve one. Give me your hand, La Habrea, and we shall know one another more deeply than ever before. Impossible. You bonded your souls? Aye. The boundaries between us would cease to be. She offered me everything to be understood. I found myself unable to refuse. At that moment, my mind was a storm of questions, yet one roared the loudest. Did Athena ever truly love me? I am become thee, memory and mind. And I, thee. Became soulmates. Quite literally. That's so romantic. Can you feel it? My heart. All that I am. Yes. It is as if it were my own. A fathomless desire to dissect the mysteries of life, to transcend our mortal flesh, and bleed into a higher plane of existence. An unquenchable thirst for knowledge, not a single thought spared for another, for the star. How disappointing. Yet what is known cannot be unknown. You've beheld my life's work. Try as you might to excise the memory, the seed of desire remains, and when it takes root, you too shall be consumed by the self-same fervor. I will dig it out. I will dispense with the corruption of my soul ere your rotten insight spreads. 'Twas my weakness that let this wickedness fester, and never again. Today I will cast aside fickle emotion and duty, abide in duty alone. Today I renounce all that I was and live only as La Habrea. Thus did I forsake the part of myself that had been polluted by Athena, sealing it within a crystal. Never did I think I would one day face these memories made flesh. Forgive my bluntness, but your actions bordered on insanity. To go to such lengths to escape your memories, you very nearly rewrote your own existence. Rest assured, the change did not go unnoticed by our colleagues in the convocation. Agosim and Selk in particular made plain the suspicions they harbored. As well they should have. That you escaped with your life was nothing short of a miracle. Why didn't you destroy the crystal then and there? Did you think to one day make use of the knowledge it contained? I will not deny such considerations played into my decision, but my main motivation was fear. I had never even attempted such a feat before. The crystal was my sole recourse for doing something going awry in the remainder of my soul. In hindsight, to cling to it was a mistake, born of doubt. Athena must have anticipated I would resort to such measures and prepared a vessel beforehand that would accept the dregs of my soul. A sundered soul, you say? Hephaestus doubtless believed he was performing his duty as a husband and father should. Yet in truth, he was but a puppet, being pulled to and fro by Athena's desires. His goal was not to raise himself high, thought only of seeing his dear Athena live again, that she might finish what she began. Yet for all of that, he and I were alike. We yet shared a fatal flaw, you see. Our need for control blinded us to other perspectives. While I was in thrall of Hephaestus, you called out to me. What say you now? Does La Habrea speak true? About what? What does your heart tell you? I want to know just one thing. Do you truly believe that hiding the truth was best for me? Even knowing how I felt about my mother. The La Habrea I know had a fatal flaw after all. I'm still not convinced. I've said all that I can say. Now is for you to choose to believe me. Or not. The La Habrea I know holds duty above all else. I would sooner prostrate myself before an erupting volcano than place my fickle emotions in his path. When you return to the surface, you'll doubtless don that mask once more, and so before we climb out of the forsaken pit, I suppose I should say. Thank you, Hephaestus. Okay, I'm gonna have to use the restroom. I've been putting it off, trying to get to the end of this cutscene. It's just too long. Quest accepted. All of that to say, quest accepted. Be right back.
Okay, well, we've got about an hour left. Let's continue. I've heard enough. There's more we'd yet discuss, but we should first return to Pandemonium's gates. I'll gather my thoughts on the way. Passage to Pandemonium. Turn to the gates of Pandemonium. I owe you an apology, Pieter. It was due to my own experience that Hephaestus was so easily able to take hold of my mind. I also owe you thanks. If you and Thesmus hadn't chosen to brave the chaos occurring in Pandemonium, then I would never have known La Habrea's story. My father's story. Sure. It was a tale I, too, was fascinated to hear. I very much look forward to speaking with Azim upon my return. I cannot help but wonder how much he saw, how much of this he foresaw. I'm afraid I cannot allow that, Elidibus. So long as you retain control of Pandemonium, there is work to be done. But of course, I shall first free the remaining warders and restore this place to its former glory. Using the facilities in Tartaros, we should be able to reverse the changes made to their bodies and minds. I shall stay behind to oversee the process. That is well, but I must yet learn why I was considered the key to Hephaestus' experiments, and how he intended to revive Athena. All such questions are best left unanswered. In fact, I forbid the pursuit of that knowledge. The boundary between man and creation shall never again be crossed. I intend to destroy the crystal containing Hephaestus' essence, that this mistake never again repeats. I see no reason to gainsay your judgment. There's yet another matter from your crystal, however. Truth be told, I'd not considered its origin until I saw the one containing Hephaestus' aether. I was struck by how wholly different they were. There's another? Oh, yeah, I got one from elsewhere. Well, imbuing a crystal with memories is a simple process. Storing a message, a warning even, would be something altogether more complex. It also means that someone, besides the present company and Azim, was aware of the plot unfolding within Pandemonium. And why would they not make themselves known, even now? No threats remain. Perhaps it was one of the other warders. We shall question them after they are freed. All right. That task may yet take some time. A resource I'd rather not steal any more of you. A resource I'd rather not steal more of from you. Return at your leisure, and we shall share our results then. You've done more than enough for the time being. I'm of the same mind. Leave the loose ends to us and continue upon your journey. If you are so inclined, take a much-needed repose. This talk of journeys smacks of Azim. As well it should. He's pledged to keep moving until he has seen every corner of the world. If you do find yourself with a spare moment, you might bring that crystal of yours to La Habrea. He might be able to offer insight further. Until then, my friend. Sure. Okay, back to Aporia. Wind up at your noise. Why, if it isn't Pieter. Excuse me if I'm not my usual chipper self, but we have not been without our difficulties in your absence. You see, communication with the airship Professor Claudian commissioned for this search was lost some time ago, and now we have quite lost track of where he might be. And to make matters worse, Nemeji has just sent word of an unusually large amount of energy coming from somewhere within the ethereal sea. I was just on my way to the Ateoscope, in fact. Please, you must come with me.
What is? Huh? So researching that crystal reopened pandemonium. What is that? Is that real? I've seen this place before. Why is that whenever danger visits the world, you're never far behind? And you two, Professor Claudian's assistants, I take it. As you arrived before me, I take it you're involved in this. I would thank you to furnish me with an explanation. Yeah, we may have reopened an ancient demonic realm from the time of legends. Actually terrifying. While the research summary you submitted to me to the forum gave us no cause for concern, these details are alarming. The professor's last message indicated he was on his way to Az's law, but we know not whether he reached his destination. A rash endeavor, even for Claudian. But he's ever allowed the thrill of discovery to cloud his better judgment. We have no recourse but to entreat Ishgard's aid in searching for him. As for that unsightly fortress which materialized in the Imperial Sea, pandemonium was it? It cannot be left alone. For the time being, information regarding this matter must be strictly controlled so as to minimize panic. You will gather those with knowledge of the Ethereal Sea and continue monitoring it for further irregularities. You two, submit a detailed report to the forum, at once. All right. At present, we have far more questions than answers. Nevertheless, I would ask for your assistance at such time as our investigation is concluded. Sure. Very good. Now, if you'll excuse me, I will apprise the forum of what has occurred here. Yeah, sure. Just when we need him most, Professor Claudian remains unaccounted for. He even brought that crystal with him. They left with scarce few straws to grasp at. While I am but a lowly assistant, even I can see that our two current problems are likely related. The same party of phenomenon may be responsible for both. Conversely, I see now that my unexperienced imagination failed to do Pandemonium's pitiless spires justice. I can only wonder if the facility itself traversed the ages, do the creatures within do the same? And what of the key wards? But answers to these questions shall come in time, I'm sure. But for now, I must do as Master Fashinal has asked, and write that report. As for you, Pieter, pray get what rest your responsibilities will allow. When next we call upon you, I wager that we shall need you in prime condition. Let's get some more paid. Pieter. Had a feeling you'd arrive soon. Urgent tidings always seem to carry you in their wake, after all. And Master Falconel recently sent word regarding his investigation. It seems he's uncovered information regarding Professor Claudian's whereabouts and the sudden appearance of Pandemonium in the Ethereal Sea. You would do well to meet with him at once. If you should have no objections, I ask you proceed to the Etioscope forthwith. I shall make the necessary arrangements and join you shortly. Sure, first I need to talk to this lady over here. I shall do as Master Falconel commanded to compile a research before sending it to the forum. Paperwork of all manner has been my forte since before I was even a student. Let me tell you about Abyssos and beyond. Pieter, may I have a moment? If you're so inclined, I would very much like to hear the story of your battles with Abyssos and Tartaros. While I have no difficulty producing reports to the forum with a general summation of events, I could use some help with the finer details. For the record, you know. For the record, you say, come now, be honest and admit that it's to sate your own curiosity. I've seen the tombs you've left scattered about the laboratory. Bestiaries of creatures both real and imagined.
I'll not, and I dare say should not, deny an intellectual stake in the matter. But surely Peter will understand that a thorough recounting will help Professor Claudian's research as well. Now then, whenever you're ready.
Once upon a time, there was a guy. His name was Peter. He was pretty cool. The end.
Fascinating. As you say, the savage creation you encountered in Abyssos bears more than a few similarities to the carbuncle. Could it be the arcane entities we now know had their origins in ancient times? Just as curious was the way your study of the keyword who was melded into the tree of legend. What if the limits of the Hemiatos creation possesses lie, I wonder? And how do such creatures even survive once melded? As expected, you cannot help yourself in even asking even more questions. What purpose would such knowledge serve? Huh? Oh, Wissan, one day you too should develop the keen instincts of a researcher. Then you shall understand that it's impossible not to wonder once the spark of imagination's been struck. Peter's stories have already set several theories running in my mind, and I feel even more bubbling just under the surface. Take Hephaestus, for example. It would not be a great leap to assume that he studied at length the regenerative and death-defying properties of the phoenix. And that's just the tip of the proverbial berg. You're free to exercise your imagination as you like, but need I remind you, these reports are meant to be submitted to Master Fulchenor himself. I implore you, exercise restraint. Professor Claudian would have encouraged me, you know. He thrives on theories and imagination, but I do understand your point, Rissino. If I were to submit such a report to Master Fulchenor, I would soon thereafter be forced to write a formal apology.
Well, Fulchenor's more open to wild theories than you may think.
That very well may be. An academic does not achieve his station he has without a curiosity as deep as the ethereal sea itself. Now, I should set ink to paper and let the words of my theory guide my hand. Within reason, of course. Yet I cannot help but dream ever larger, that there are no bounds to which the mind can imagine. And if there are, let us both strive to find them, Peter. Ha-ha!
Pandemonium Abyssos Savage is now accessible. Relic of Abyssos. Purgatory Helm of Healing. And Casting. Purgatory Surcoat of Healing. Purgatory Arm Coats of Healing. Purgatory Coluttes of Healing, or Caususes of Healing, I should say. Purgatory Boots of Healing. There you go. Purgatory Earrings of Healing. Purgatory Choker of Healing. Purgatory Amulet of Healing. Purgatory Ring of Healing. Okay, only have one of each item, huh? And then Ring of Casting. And Amulet of Casting. And there we go. That's pretty dang cool. That's dang cool. So there you go. There's Scholar. The flaming coat. That's dang cool. Okay, Summoner, what you got?
Inventory helm of casting. Okay, well, that's what we can do. Okay. Let's get this healing back here first. We gotta be summoner, unfortunately. As cool as that code of casting is. Ah, Master Pieter. I've been made aware of your coming. Please use the lift here. Yeah, let's go. Time to go to the telescope. Go to the telescope. Yeah, I'm in my ancient robes. What's up? I thank you for answering my summons with haste. Let us forgo formalities and jump straight to the heart of the matter. Sure. Namely, the whereabouts of Professor Claudian, who has not been seen since his ill-advised journey to Az's Law. A subsequent expedition discovered an airship in the vicinity of the Ferrochemical Research Facility. Though the vessel clearly belonged to the professor, he was nowhere to be found. There were signs that someone, perhaps the man himself, had forced their way into the facility, so this trail was duly followed. However, the trail led nowhere, in the most literal sense. It was almost as if an entire sector of the facility had been wrested from existence. That's concerning. Further investigation confirmed the expediatory's party suspicion. Nigh on the entire sector of Azazlar has been teleported elsewhere. Teleported? To where?
We believe that its destination was none other than the Imperial Sea. Here, where its elegant facility is reconstituted as the halls of Pandemonium. To great success, as you can see. That's very concerning. So that means Professor Claudian is in there, in that monstrous fortress. That is our leading theory. We are certain enough, at least, to risk sending you into its depths in search of the missing man.
All right, yeah, let's go mess him up.
Yet, before we do, there's another pressing matter.
What's that?
While Pandemonium may appear firmly sealed, an unknown entity was recently spied crawling forth from its gates. We observed its behavior through the arterioscope, and to our horror witnessed it gorging upon the surrounding aether, like a ravenous beast.
What?
It must be stopped. The ethereal sea harbors the souls of the departed. 'Tis the wellspring from which all creatures are born. If its flow were disrupted, life itself might cease to be. Precisely. Its safety must be our first priority. Rid us of this menace, Pieter. Then we will be at liberty to investigate what wicked machinations are afoot.
Oh, sure, I can take care of that for you.
This memory crystal was recovered from Claudian's airship. Take it with you. It may yet prove some insight into the enigma of Pandemonium.
Sure.
Without Desmus, there'd be no army of phantom warriors. I realize you're more than capable in combat, but are you certain you'll be all right?
Oh, I got some friends. As long as I'm free to focus on my foe, there's nothing to worry about.
That's the spirit. I'd lend you my arms, such as they are, but I believe I'll be more useful in the provision of information and non-martial support.
I shall gather researchers from the confluence to construct a means to convey you to your destination. The rest is in your hands.
Oh, I got this. Yeah. Don't worry. It's fine.
Abiesios, the ninth circle is now accessible.
So I'm going to have to go in here with Scholar. All right. So be it. And Abiesios, the ninth circle. Off we go into the wild blue yonder. We will probably get one, maybe two of these in, and then we'll have to finish these tomorrow morning. I don't think anything is interrupting me next week. I think this week we'll be able to go straight on through my birthday on Friday. Then I will take Saturday off. I've already decided that 9 days straight is plenty. I'll take day after my birthday off. Goodness. There we go. Masters. Have fun.
Must not end. My feast must not be interrupted.
Bro. Mythic creation. Kakatos. Currently avoiding all the pick that survives. 1 to 3 now. Hey, guy owls. Bows courteously. Show me your whip, but go.
Death brings me no peace. Such is my fate.
Is this Athena?
Is without equal. Flames take you. My every breath is laced with magics. I find you. You can wield such power as mine. I find you. This shouldn't kill you. Another fleeting
It occurs to me that a mechanist has the power to have, like, mechanical minions, and that's really cool. That's the first I've seen that.
Always more killing to be done, and I'm always happy to oblige. Make it fun for me, The first drops are always the sweetest. I've had enough of you.
That's not good. Petra's holding his own pretty well.
you!
Really? Yep. Got him. All right. Unsung chassis. So unsung, basically. Set of unsung stuff. Hey, I obtained all of them. Good. Definitely be using that as soon as we're done with all this. Hey, I got a commendation. I'm flaming out here. Impressive work, Peter. Their memories of their tenacity are not embellished in the slightest. And Miss Athena, do not be alarmed. A proper introduction shall set your mind at ease. I am Athena, chief keyword of Pandemonium, wife to La Habrea, mother to Archaeosnois, and it is I who made Pandemonium anew in the underworld. In a matter of speaking, I am the source of all your recent troubles. I must say I did not imagine I would meet you in this age. Slight miscalculation, but perhaps a fortunate one. For your deeds in the past have left quite an impression on me. That's troublesome. I understand you have reason to be wary, but I assure you, there is no need. I know not what La Habrea has told you of me, but all that I have done out of sincere scientific curiosity. That appetite yet remains, even after my rebirth. The conflict is the furthest thing from my mind, and I ask that you hear me out before brandishing your weapon. Maybe. Give Claudian back. Claudian? Oh! You must be referring to the man who set foot in Az's law. He is now indispensable to my work. Worry not, for I treat all of my tools with care, especially those with whom I will grasp godhood. You're stubborn as La Habrea, I see. Although I speak in earnest, you refuse to hear the meaning of my words. Perhaps you'd best be served by a different teacher. Luckily, you already possess the tools I require to make one for you. Yes, that crystal. It teems with memories. Memories of two souls you know quite well, La Habrea and Archaeosnois. I shall stitch them into the fabric of two errant souls. That with their help, you may come to see more clearly.
This is a problem. You. How... Where are we?
Oh, surely the two of you... Surely the two have much to tell you of me. Surely these two have much to tell you of me. And I would have you listen. Perhaps then you'll understand me and my desire for godhood. There is another, but their soul has proven difficult to work with. However, with these memories, I may yet well manage to weave together something presentable. You have a place in my plans. I do hope that in time you come to realize that cooperation is your best path forward. I have little understanding of where we are, yet somehow I'm unsurprised to find you here. At present, I have more questions than answers. Perhaps you can help me address this iniquity. Is there somewhere we can speak without fear of interruption? Sure. I don't know how long it's been, Pieter, but it's good as ever to see your face. Would that we're under more conventional circumstances. Just where are we? And what events have led to this unexpected reunion? Oh, you know, this, that, and the other. Oh, yes. I remember you telling us about this memory crystal. To think it contained our memories. This is a lot to take in. Not least of which, the fact that you all hail from the future. You know, I searched after you after a time. I could find no trace. Now I know why. Yeah, well, welcome to the future. Shouldn't these guys be a lot taller? Our age has its share of surprises. If my memories are to be believed, the supposedly world-ending final days has already come upon us, and yet here we are, in a future where you at least exist. Yeah. Do we overcome the despair that befell us? Do we find a way to live on? I mean, you were all wiped out, but we're surviving. Questions without simple answers, it seems. Let us take heart that life endured in some form. As but memories, we may never have the luxury of the larger picture. Regardless, now that it has come to pass, this future must be protected from Athena's scheming. Let this conviction guide our every path. Sure. And our every action. Agreed, but as memories given fleeting form, we're bereft of any physical and magical talents. We cannot aid Pieter in battle in any way. Nay, Athena meant us to speak, and apparently nothing more. But though we may be tools, we need not be slaves to her whims. We will tear ourselves from her grasp and shatter her ambitions. I must wonder how she knew of our history with Pieter. Likely, she possessed some means by which to observe events within the pandemonium, either while they were occurring or after the fact. Regardless, her knowledge far exceeds our own, a shortcoming we must remedy at once.
We would do well to learn more of the pandemonium now dominating the landscape of souls. Peter's colleagues will doubtless prove to be of value in that respect.
Oh, yeah. Hey, could you guys, fill these guys in?
Let's get some crit hits in. We've got plenty of others. Why do our companies hesitate to approach? Why do our companions hesitate to approach? You may be unusual visitors, but time is of the essence. Bring them here.
You're like people of legends. They're kind of freaked out by you, probably. Also, you're a lot shorter than you're supposed to be, and we're still trying to figure out why. Although you may be a confident fluence of memory, it's an honor to meet the personages I've heavily read of in Pieter's reports. As a researcher, this is beyond exciting, but I admit it in no small measure of fear as well.
I know what you mean. I can scarcely stop my legs from shaking. But we're powerless to do aught but speak. I see no reason why you should be afraid.
It's not my life I fear for. I only fear that I may not have the chance to ask you all the questions now burning a hole in my mind. We stand before two of the ancients, who hold priceless knowledge beyond our ken of any of our peers. What purpose does fear serve if not to be confronted and conquered? To that end, we shall share with you our records, and perhaps together we can find the thread from which will lead us safely out of this conundrum.
Information shall be our most precious resource. For that, it's the only weapon we can wield in these forms. Our memories are at your complete disposal. We can start with Athena, whose thirst for discovery would see all life consumed. Her desires haven't changed. She still seeks to transcend her mortal existence, so that she might unravel the mysteries of life. She would become as a god. A nebulous concept, but Athena has her own ideas into what divinity entailed. In her mind, a god can create souls at will. Thus she chose the underworld of the ethereal sea. It is known in this age as the staging ground for her experiments. There lies a practically bottomless well of aether. Even if it means stemming the flow of life itself, she intends to continue her work. She thinks of nothing else. Got a glimpse of Athena as we came into this world. Her smile, her voice, they're just as I remember. Without even realizing it, I found myself feeling an affection for her.
That's still very concerning.
Don't look at me like I've gone mad. I'm not asking you to join her side. I know the true Akimiatos would never want that. But these emotions remain in memory, if nowhere else.
Right.
We shall remain here to compile what information we can. You must infiltrate Pandemonium and seek out Athena.
Oh yeah, I can do that.
I would ask that you leave the memory crystal with us. It holds many secrets, which have not been unveiled, probably.
There you go.
Thank you. All that's left is across that menacing threshold. Shall we take a closer look?
Sure.
All right. I do have one question for you. Does the word Aurosite mean aught to you?
Aurosite? Well, yes, there are a few records of his existence. It mainly makes appearances in the legends of Evilis, and in tales concerning the Asian well, in tales concerning an entity known as an Asian. This personage is associated with black aurosite known as the Heart of Sabik, a source of considerable power.
I see. So time has not buried it. I'm going to give him black aurosite and have to fight him last. We'll get this mission started, and then we'll stop for the day, I think. From the outside, Pandemonium looks no different than it did in the past. However, there is no guarantee that inside will be familiar. You would do well to secure the area near the entrance first. Once it has been cleared of threats, La Brea and I can approach, and we can begin our exploration of the interior. All right. The portal should convey you to Pandemonium's gates. I hardly need tell you to keep your weapon at the ready. I knew you would come. I never lost faith that we would meet again. I told you as much, did I not? I understand you may be confused. I too was at first. I was too at first. You see, I'm not the true Themis. I was made by Athena, molded from one of the many souls at her disposal. I'm only an illusion built from memory. No more real than La Habrea or Equinoccios. Even so, I believe I have a grasp of the situation. This is the distant future. A future where Athena lives once more. Although the means of her rebirth is yet beyond me, you're here to stop her. Have they have the right of it so far? You do. Very good. I'd be disappointed if you did not rise to her challenge. Although I am sorry to say I cannot aid you. My creator is tempered with my essence. I am oddly inclined to act in her interests. I could do naught but offer you words of warning. We will fight. It cannot be avoided. I don't like this. There's no need for that pained expression. Remember, I am but an illusion. Nothing worth shedding any tears over. I would feel terrible if I had to trounce at Litibus again. I know not what is in your mind, but I must stress once again, I cannot defy the urge to stand against you. Athena's holdup for me is unyielding. Still, I would ask that you listen carefully to the advice I offer you now. Athena has prepared a new vessel to replace Ariadne's, so that she may yet become a god. By gathering the souls readily available in this sea of aether, she tempers her own essence. Yet the souls are faint and diffuse. She doubts whether they're sufficient for her goals, so she has turned her gaze to you. Despite your thin aether, you managed to lay Hephaestus low, and Athena would know the secret of your strength. To that end, she's prepared an experiment for her observation. Fight for your life against Athena's creation, and in so doing, give her the knowledge that she desires. She wishes to take the Warrior of Light. D-A-F-U-Q. We fight Pandemonium itself.
Well, what is happening?
Athena has made her move. We must find a way to reach her, or all is lost. We can do little but hope for Pieter's success.
Okay.
Pandemonium. Once a mass of lifeless stone, and now imbued with a soul. Athena has grown much since her death in Labrea's hand. Although the souls she creates are imperfect, they act with absolute obedience. I know you shall cut your way through this monster, as you have so many others, and then you shall come before me. Do not hesitate to do what you must. It is the only way to stop Athena. That's where we're going to start tomorrow. Anabesos, the 10th circle. All right. Thank you so much for watching. See you tomorrow. Hope you have a wonderful day.